and welcome to MLH Media Uncensored, the first ever episode here today. I'm really excited for you guys to be able to get to witness this new platform and get to grow with me all here today. Take this as the first day of many possible episodes of this new platform and new program. Many of you may be asking why I decided to go ahead and go forward with this new program, and we will be answering a little bit of that, and we'll be answering a little bit of what I had going on these past couple of weeks and why there may not have been some videos and stuff like that. Wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a synopsis before we headed into the videos and before we headed into those interviews here today. So let's go ahead and kick it off first with there's some audio issues with the interviews. My mic is still working in them, but sadly is not the usual Yeti stereo mic that I use for the interviews. So the audio may not be the crispest quality, but you still are able to hear me and still able to go ahead and watch those two interviews. I very highly recommend that you do tune in to those as well. Dimitri and Bedtime MMA have a lot of good things to say, and very interested to see where not only Dimitri looks to go on December 14th, possibly move to 2-0. in his own professional MMA career, but then you also have Bedtime, who is an MMA YouTuber, has over 50,000 subscribers, that may make his own amateur MMA debut, apologies, there in the coming months or possibly a year here. So we will look to see where that all goes, and you will hear a little bit more about those men in the coming minutes. But let's start it off with 559 Fights 108 happening down over there at the Visalia Convention Center this past weekend. Yours truly was there to break down all the action on commentary live on Zine.com and MyTV53. A great card, had 12 fights on there, and let me just tell you, that undercard had the crowd roaring. I mean, you had Oscar Pacheco getting the finish in the first round, and then you had Jonathan Rigby earning that second round sub with the rear naked choke. That was a killer comeback in that fight as well. TKO from Mark Martin within the first 20 seconds or so in his fight. So just overall, a lot of finishing prowess and a lot of power shown on display from all of these fighters over there for 559 Fights. And then you even had Jihad Swule, who's a U.S. Army veteran over there training with the Ochoa Combat Academy in Lemoore, California, able to notch his first win against Grant Kelm over there out of Victory MMA, earning the first round TKO in a hard-fought bout over there. Let me just tell you, Grant Kelm was bringing it to Jihad early in the first. Jihad able to go ahead and settle down, is able to go ahead and get that finish with the time expiring on the clock. Definitely a lot of fights to look to in the next coming months as well over there at 559 Fights. 559 Fights 109 coming down October 25th, 2024, Visalia Convention Center. In that main event, officially confirmed as of this last weekend. Ramon Cornejo, Isaiah Walls going at it in the main event for that Camo and 559 Fights Featherweight Championship. Co-main event, you got George Burgos and Paul Furr going at it for that Flyweight Championship in the 559 Fights organization. Definitely a lot of things to look forward to. You also have Joshua Simpson making his promotional return to the 559 Fight. Should be a very fun matchup between him and Adrian Reyes, going down there at 140 pounds. And got Chris Chapa making his return to welterweight as well. Got a lot of guys on this card that possibly will look to have some big 2025s. I always feel like the back ends of these years, especially in the amateur, really can prove to provide a lot of good omens for you in the beginning of the year, in that 2025 year. And you already have Johnny Reyes, another one of those guys, just got a win this past month, already signed the contract for October 25th, going to be taking on the likes of Dean Furr, the brother of Paul Furr, over there for 559 Fights 109 to open up that main card. And I've been super impressed with all the talent that has been coming through 559 Fights and in the Central Valley in this past year. It's just been absolutely amazing to be part of not only that organization, but to see A1 Combat come through and to be able to bring their talents through and to be able to see some of those guys jump from 559 to A1 Combat. I mean, if you've obviously gotten to see the likes of Chris Paez, the Blake DeCourcy's of the world, the Martin Sandovals, but now possibly looking to see a couple more of those guys make their way into that realm. I mean, you had Julio Isaac Ladave getting the win over against Johnny Diaz. I think he's, if not ready for that professional debut, he's right at that line to where he maybe needs one more and he can get into that professional ranks and really make some noise. Francisco Hurtado and Fabian Maldonado are also two guys that I wouldn't doubt seeing that jump to the professional level here pretty soon. But just a whole lot of skill put on display on Saturday night over there at the Visalia Convention Center. If you are not busy, October 25th on that Friday, make sure you buy tickets and go ahead and attend for that event. But commentary over there was a great experience as always, commentating alongside Alexis Molina. It was a great night over there. I mean, I always am a fan of not only being able to commentate the fights, but also having guys come up to me after and having guys that I've commentated their fights before. And that's truly where I get that verification if I'm doing everything okay. Because at the end of the day, I truly, when I'm doing it, in that moment, I feel like I'm messing up so bad. I feel like, oh my God, like I'm talking about these guys and they're going to hate watching it back. Or it's very hard to talk about somebody else getting into a cage and putting their all into something and fighting. It's just, it's a different type of dynamic. It's not like any other sport. And I will go to the grave saying that. And when I say it's not like any other sport, because critiquing somebody else when they're moments away from getting their lights put out or when they're moments away from possibly falling victim to a submission, it just completely changes the dynamic and completely changes the way that I feel a lot of these guys and a lot of their families are able to interpret and listen to these broadcasts, which as someone that now has a brother that fights, I 100% get it. I definitely feel where a lot of these people are coming from. So I just wanted to go ahead and say I appreciate everybody that was tuning in over there for 559 Fights 108 on zine.com, or if you were watching live from Bakersfield all the way over to Madera, I believe you can watch on My TV 53 on your local TV stations. Comcast and DirecTV may have different channel numbers, so I would just go ahead and double verify that by looking up My TV 53 broadcast channel numbers for your respective cable provider. On Sunday, then headed over to that open mat over there at Vitruvian. Always a good time over there with my guys Mariano Aldama and Steve Ramirez. I really always appreciate their hospitality. And of course, Mark De La Cruz, the head of helm over there at Vitruvian, always playing on a great open mat over there. And it's always a fun time when I'm over there at that gym, not only because they got that going on, but we had some butt ball going on, which is not really something that you see at a lot of gyms, and a lot of gyms encourage like jiu-jitsu games and stuff like that. But let me just tell you guys, if I had the chance to go professional in butt ball, there's a possibility. Like jiu-jitsu, maybe not. You know, I'm not the best jiu-jitsu practitioner, but being able to mix the movement of the ball in there, I don't know, something about it to where I'm able to just move efficiently, and I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog when I'm out there, man, just rolling. Maybe call me Limp Bizkit. I don't know, but I really do enjoy that classic butt ball. I don't know. Maybe we have to see myself entering into that butt ball league that my guy Yano the Beast on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following him. He was talking about possibly opening up a little bit of a league to go ahead and embark into that. So that would be pretty interesting to see butt ball go down and get its own league. But in terms of where you guys were possibly asking me where I've been at, I know that I've had a lot of people asking me, you know, you haven't been going to as many events, you haven't been, you know, doing commentary for this, so on and so forth. So let me just give you a little bit of an explanation of how my timeline works for events and things like that. So I traditionally do the commentary work for A1 for 559 Fights, post-fight interviews for A1 Combat. So whenever they have events, those dates I'm usually booked up. But other than that, I don't have any other organizations I'm presently doing work for at the moment. So that means that on those weekends, I usually do have that time off to either A, try and get some interviews in, or B, go ahead and freelance the event and go ahead and attend on my own dollar and see what I can do. Now, I was able to do that with LFA as they were over there in the Santa Cruz area on the 13th of September. That was a great show as well. I had a great time over there. Really appreciate the hospitality from Mark Evans, the LFA team, and all those guys over there. But it can be tough a little bit in terms of being able to schedule down interviews and everything, especially when you're trying to move some of your stuff you know, between San Luis Obispo and from where I'm originally from, more near the Central Valley of California. So I really do appreciate everybody for being so patient in terms of waiting for the video output. Just know that it does take a little bit of time, especially with the school schedule that I'm balancing. Currently finishing up my 5th year over here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, getting my degree in journalism, so that possibly you may be seeing your boy making some pretty big moves in this next coming month. And that was another big reason for the kind of platform change, and for me wanting to feel like I needed to get out of my shell a little bit. You know, I feel oftentimes, especially as an interviewer, as a journalist, you get put into this, you can't really express your opinion. And it's not you can't express your opinion, but you just feel like, fuck, if I say this certain thing, or if I say this, X, Y, and Z is going to look at me a certain way, or this is not journalistically acceptable, or it's not deemed okay. And at the end of the day, I think the biggest problem that we have had in society in terms of journalism is we've lost that truth factor. And I feel the honesty factor is why half of you guys are here. I think that's why a lot of you guys have liked the interviews and have liked the style of my videos, is because I don't really sugarcoat shit. I keep it real and I keep it respectable. And I think that's something that, although we do have the realism in many assets of the MMA game, you know, you have a lot of fans that are super real and almost to the point where it's a little bit brutally honest. But I just feel that a new platform was needed to where I could not only talk to fighters, because fighters are the lifeline of this. Without them, I don't have a job. Without them, I don't have a sport to love. But there's just so many more things that go into making an MMA event work, that I don't feel fans really see unless you're there at an event, or unless you're constantly attending, or you know someone that works within the mixed martial arts sphere. So that was really why I wanted to be able to build this platform, be able to build a show, be able to build a space where I can have guys on, and where I can have different members of the mixed martial arts community on, where I can have cut men and cut women, and just have a community-based program. And that really was what it's for me, is I feel like MMA has lost its community factor, and I feel we're all so focused on trying to build a platform up, or we're trying to focus on building X, Y, and Z up, instead of trying to focus on building together as a community. And I feel that's something that other sports, they have that down. You know, you don't see that happen in NFL, where they're so crucial down on each other. Or you don't see that happen in the MLB, where they're so hating on each other in terms of content creation and what another party has going on in terms of, you know, YouTube space or commentary or journalism. I feel like in MMA, journalism-wise, or even in terms of personality, there's just so much hostility, like so much hostility. And I kind of wanted to get away from that. And I wanted to be able to take a platform to be able to get to speak to people, and to where people don't feel like they have to, oh man, I can't say this because then this guy's going to get mad at me. I can't say this because then this guy's going to get mad at me. I really want to be able to build this program to where it's for us, by us. And I know that's corny, I know that's cheesy, but without any of you guys, I truly wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be subscribing to a StreamYard service to be filming this video. It's all because of you. Like, you guys are the lifeline of this, and just as much as the fighters are the lifeline to my community, the fans are a lifeline to what makes MLH Media run and work. So I truly want to say thank you. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. A kid that was sleeping on floors while growing up, to now being able to commentate some fighters that I've gotten the pleasure of working with, and some coaches that I've been able to speak to. It's truly been an honor, truly been a pleasure. And I don't know what else I could say but thank you. And I could only do my job in servicing the MMA community and trying to grow us and grow the sport as big as possible moving forward.